Somebody did a phenomenal job for us on raising awareness last week. That raised awareness. That said, you know, the awareness it raised, or what it provoked amongst consumers, was sort of fear, uncertainty and doubt, and you don't really get consumer engagement if you do that. What you actually get is people running away and hiding and burying their head in the sands because it's all extremely scary. And certainly my own experience of building consumer businesses says that engagement happens when you build awareness not based on fear, but based on aspiration, value, curiosity, and fun. And if you sort of step out into the world with an idea based on those things, you can get an enormous amount of engagement, and you use that engagement to help shape your idea. And guess what? That idea can turn into an iconic brand and a valuable business. And that happened to me 3 times.
The idea of Firstdirect emerged in 1988, and it emerged from an observation that a growing number of financial transactions were being conducted by telephone, particularly in the United States. And somebody in Midland senior management asked the question, could we establish a complete bank that way?
Hello, this is Firstdirect. How can I help?
The intention of the Mercury Imagine program is to bring about, as I understand it, fundamental changes in the way the company behaves.
This is a change process, if you like, we can call it that, that doesn't go with a pre-described mechanism at all. It doesn't have a name other than the one we've chosen to give it, so we can talk about it. It is designed specifically for Mercury. I think any company in a high technology environment that continues doing what it's doing, even if it makes continuous improvements to what it's doing, is ultimately going to decline because of the rate of change that goes on in technology. And you've got to position yourself to exploit that rapid rate of change.
Mike Harris has revolutionized the stuffy world of British banking and financial services. In 1988, he created the first ever telephone-based bank, Firstdirect. 10 years later, he introduced an even more innovative concept, an online bank, Egg.
Well, we look at ourselves as business revolutionaries, really. So we're looking, rather than the conventional financial services organisation, which effectively looks at the world as a series of products to be sold, to be administered, to be kept secure. We look at it much more as from what does it look like from a customer's perspective. So how would it be if this industry was turned around and it was designed so that it made sense to customers?
We have been immersed in this field of digital identity for around 2 years now. And with the technology that we've got and with the expertise that we have, I think we immerse ourselves at a depth that few others can really match.
Your identity laid bare. This is your internet status. It's time you took control. Welcome to Kudos.
And that made me very, very confident that the sort of entrepreneurial principles of leadership and innovation that I've been working with and writing about apply even to the most difficult of legacy organizations. Do they have an inspiring idea, an inspiring vision, and do they just project no doubt that they'll ever get there? And at the same time, am I getting rational analysis of the way things are today? If I got those 2 things in place, I think I'm listening to a leader who's going to get stuff done. That's going to make things happen. Now, to me, great leadership is provoked by a great idea. You see, there are many, many ideas in the world. Every one of our organizations is full of ideas. Our heads are full of ideas, but how many people do you find with the attitude and ambition to say, I will be accountable for making that idea happen? Great leaders, great ideas, you always find the 2 together. You start with some sort of insight. Innovation, when you're trying to get a breakthrough result, you need to find a need that is not being met today, a problem that is not being solved for however you define your customers. Every entrepreneur I interviewed in the last 6 months, everybody told me the reaction to the idea when they first had it was, that will never work. And most big organizations have got a culture that says you don't get on here by taking risks. That's a killer. I think you should take more risks. I think what I know of IT organizations and big organizations and government, they don't take enough risks. They manage things down too much. And everybody you get brought in diminishes the power of the idea. Because to get them on board, you've got to chop a bit off. Then they're on board. Chop a bit off. You end up with something that's really weak and not worth doing. So when the management consultants told me Egg would never work because although it had lower operating costs than the other banks, the acquisition costs for new customers would kill us. At £100 a customer, I knew I had to create a brand that was capable of getting customers at £20 a shot, and that's exactly what we did. So Dylan's thought is, he not busy being born, is busy dying. And that thought, to me, at least inspires me to never, ever be satisfied with the way things are, but to just get out there and make something new and something different happen.
Mike, great presentation. I think you really, I cannot disagree with what you mentioned about the hot culture. What is your advice? I mean, we are not all entrepreneurs here. We are also employees. So what is your advice?
So I think when you've got an idea you believe in, you've got to pitch it like you're the entrepreneur pitching to venture capitalists. Pitch it like I believed in it, not like it was something that like I personally believe. This is something I will get done. It's not something that's good for the company. It's something I believe in.